Hello. Hello. I have arrived. Damn. Look at me actually streaming. It's been so long. Hello. I missed you, chat. Hello, Paul. Hello, Michael. Hello, Yiladia. Hello, Kairis. And hello, everyone else who may or may not be lurking. I missed you. Did you miss me too? Hello, cute lizard. Wait. There's a lizard here? Where's the cute lizard that you're talking of? How are you guys? How have you been doing without me? It's been 4 days. Have I ever been away for 4 days in a row? I don't even know. I think I might have at some point. I think it was like a week or something once. I'm not entirely sure though. It might have been a new record. 4 days. That's crazy. Also, let me drink some water. It has been 4 days, but now I'm back. Finally. Hello, Misu, welcome. So, I actually was quite busy, even though I haven't been streaming. Because obviously I had to like organize the new monitor and stuff. It actually only took a day to arrive. Like I ordered it the next day it was here, which is quite nice. But obviously since the other one broke on the weekend, couldn't actually do that immediately. And yesterday was my day off anyway, so I had plenty of time to actually set up the new monitor. And I'm quite happy. Like, it's surprising. Like, the monitor is actually... It is surprisingly cheap. I know I put it up on Throne, so because I did have to go... I did have to put it on my credit card on that, you know. So if you want to chime in, you could do that on Throne to alleviate my debt a little bit. But it was surprisingly cheap. Like, 150 euro for a 1440p 200Hz monitor is kind of crazy. Like, especially with like the specs it has overall with color accuracy and stuff like that. That is like a steal. Yeah, it is insane. So hopefully it doesn't die again. Hopefully this time. I specifically avoided MSI because, you know, don't want to deal with that again. Oh my god, people, thank you for the 1000 Chio, Engaged Alien, and thank you for the 5 gifted subs, Hilaria. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, didn't really hit anyone we know. But you know, we take it. Thank you. Very, very generous. I'm glad to see you as well. Also, yeah, Alien. What a good boy. What a good boy. And hello, Feld, and hello, Zaku. Also, Alien, I spotted you on a different channel. I was going through, like, I usually open like a second tab, clicking on one of my, like my favorites on my dashboard to see who's live and stuff. And I went on Airy Pie's channel, who hasn't, I think she is like on hiatus or something. But on the channel, there was a recommended suggested channel called CVNKA. I don't know how her name is called, like pronounced, like Sabanka or something, probably. And I stumbled upon the channel. She had technical difficulties, so I tried to help a little bit because she also switched over to using SE Live for multi-streaming, and I thought I could help, but unfortunately Kick has some issues. I don't know why though, because it seems to be working for me, but there are some issues on Cake apparently, and her stream went offline. Anyway, why am I even talking about this? That is the channel that Engaged Alien is modding. And I found it purely by accident, and I didn't even realize that it was a channel until I tried watching the kick stream to see what's wrong on her side, and I saw engaged alien in chat. It was so funny. Like it was the first time I was watching her, and I don't really find a lot of new channels in general. And the fact that it's the exact channel that Engaged Alien is modding for is kind of crazy. And even funnier, Feld also joined the chat later in that same stream. The world is small. A small world of VTubers. She's great. Let me give her a shout out. She's currently live too. But don't bother her or anything. But shoot her a follow or something. I don't know. Hype train! That's crazy. Also, let me catch up on chat. Detective development was so powerful that it destroyed your monitor. Basically. So, apparently, that issue that I have with the monitor where the backlights die, it seems to be extremely common. Like, that monitor came out 4 years ago. And there's a lot of forum posts popping up now, so I feel like almost everyone that bought that monitor is running into the same issue. It's crazy how many posts there were that reported that. It's like, I don't want to accuse anyone of doing anything, but it seems like a intentional breakage point to me. So I'm gonna be avoiding certain brands unless they want to sponsor me, maybe MSI. Yeah, I cannot recommend that specific monitor. I'm sure the other monitors are great, but I'm gonna be taking a different brand from now on. Funnily enough though, I do have everything from MSI, like my motherboard, my graphics card, and all that stuff is actually from MSI, and I never really had problems. But that seems almost intentional with how that breaks, and I heard bad stories about people not getting refunds because they were barely out of warranty, even though it seems like a widespread issue, and they don't sell spare parts and all of that stuff, so I thought maybe I should avoid them. Still not a fan of SC Live. She actually said as well that she's switching from items, she's testing a couple of different things as well. I'm not really a fan of SC Live either. It is a bit clunky, but it is working very well for me, so I can't really complain. But I did see there's other things this Atom or something. I do want to look into that too at some point. Hello Nom Nom, welcome. What is the new monitor you got? It is still on Throne. So you can check out the exact link and name. That is the G27Q2. I guess I could show it. Also, I forgot to loop the music. 1 second. There we go. G27Q2 from Gigabyte. In the Philippines, MSI products have lower quality product material while maintaining high specs. This helps compete with other products here by having lower prices because of the materials it's made of. There's actually the spare parts that I need is a backlight strip that is actually only sold in Asian countries, and one of the shops that I found is in the Philippines. Unfortunately, I couldn't buy it there because it would take over a month to arrive. It was cheaper, but I took another shop, and that seems to be arriving sooner. So if I actually get the spare parts and if I'm able to assemble it or open up the panel myself, it seems to be a very intricate and dangerous process to actually repair it, because there's so many fragile parts that easily break. But if I will be able to repair it, we will actually have 3 monitors because I can put my old monitor, which is a lot more expensive, or was a lot more expensive, as the main monitor, and then I can use my second old monitor, which is a 1080p monitor that I had for like 8 years, and it never caused issues. I could use that as a third monitor where I could put chat on, so we would have a huge chat. So I can redo and see you guys better. That would be awesome. Wait, I'm speaking to the void. I'm speaking to the void on Cake. I don't see my messages coming through. Oh. Wait, do I actually have the same issues on Cake? Wait. Also, Quadi, thank you for your message on the weekend. You're welcome, you're welcome. Of course, of course. I hope you had a really nice day and a really nice weekend as well. Hello Dave. Are you a fanboy? No. Well, you know, I'm a pufferfish demon girl, but I am kind of like the species. My species is what do you call it again? Oh god, I don't know the human term. Let me break. Hermaphrodite, I think. Yeah. So my species is kind of hermaphrodite, and I'm a shapeshifter too. So in a way, I'm both genders at the same time. But I do prefer my female form. So no, I'm not a fanboy. Might be worth checking Alibaba on AliExpress for some spare parts. Yeah. That was one of the things. Like, there's one video that actually shows the entire assembly with like good photos and instructions. That video came out 1.5 weeks ago, so another person, like literally only YouTube video that addresses it perfectly, another person that ran into the same issue recently, so it is really popping up everywhere. And they also suggested Alibaba Express or whatever it is, but it's not available in my country, unfortunately. But I already ordered the spare parts, so don't worry about it. She's 100% a short queen. Yep. Wait, Sage! Wait, would you want me to be a fanboy? I would shapeshift into a fanboy. At some point. Why not? How we find a fanboy VTuber? I think there's plenty of cute fanboy VTubers as well. I see the stream, but not sure you see my message. I don't think no, I haven't seen any kick messages. Let me double check. Sorry. Okay. Well, let me see. Some regular 6 monitors are not that expensive. I got myself Asus for like 100 pounds. It's the best, but I needed a third monitor, blah blah blah. Yeah. I've been found out, Panic. Yeah, you kept mentioning that you are modding in a different channel, but you never mentioned the name. So the fact that I stumbled across her, like, on accident is crazy. Test. Wait, now it's working. Wait, what the hell? That is so random. Get yourself a girl who can peg and be pegged. Not sure about that. But the best ever, thank you for remembering. Of course. 18 years, that's tough thing. Wait, 18 years? Wait, what's 18 years? Wait, my monitor? I said 8 years, if that is what you're referencing. Not 18. 18 would be crazy. Kohari is Ari's male version. I thought about that too. Kohari is a pretty good name for a male version. Well, although I think Kohari might also... Well, yeah, it does sound a little bit more male, doesn't it? Some regular 6 years monitors are not that expensive. Like, must have is this one? Oh yeah, I read that. Wait, are they all arriving late? At the same time now? That's weird. Yeah, all the messages seem to be arriving late now. Yeah, I think it is some like server issues. It seems to be not on my end at all. Would be rude to mention unprompted, so I kept it vague. That is very nice of you. It was a pleasant surprise to be found out naturally. Yeah, it was. I was very confused. And I wouldn't even have realized it if I didn't check like her kick stream. If she didn't run into those issues, I wouldn't even have seen you at all. It was Ada might have misspelled it. Yeah. Hey, what was that doing? Oh right, the monitor. So the monitor. Can I share the screen right now? I'm always scared that something is leaking when is there anything showing? Doesn't look like it, but also for some reason it's in German. I'm gonna show it on Amazon. This is probably easier. Okay, switch. Also, let me go to my corner. In preparation. Alright, so this is the monitor I got. It's the, like I said already, a Gigabyte G27Q2. And it does have HDR10 and like 1440p, 200 Hz and all of that stuff. But I actually run it at 144 Hz because I think that's enough. I would prefer 165 because at some point I tested what I actually can perceive still. And when I played Valorant back in the day, I actually did still notice a difference between 144 and 165. So I think 160 something is my cutoff of my personal perceiving of smooth motion. But 144 is plenty. I could put it to 200, but I feel like that's overkill, so I'm gonna run it at 144. And the one I actually initially wanted to get is the GS27QA. And that one is basically the exact same price. But that one is so much worse. It has like way worse colors. It doesn't cover the entire spectrum of sRGB. It has like, I don't know, it's like so much worse in comparison. Even though it is almost the same price and from the same brand. I think it's like an old model. And I was very surprised to find a new one. I kind of got lucky on that. But yes, that is basically, well, I guess it's 10 euro cheaper because it's like reduced. But the, what is that, RRP, recommended price or something, is actually higher. It's actually, the base price is higher. So it's very confusing because this one is like leagues ahead in terms of quality. Oops. So yes, if you are looking for a monitor and have a little bit more, probably, like if I had the money, I would probably take the M27Q instead. Because that one is insane. But yeah, we don't have that luxury right now. That is basically HDR, like that is actual HDR, I think, if I remember correctly. So that one would be way cooler, but you know, we are living a real life here now, until we blow up, and then we can splurge. But it's probably a better idea to buy like multiple monitors of the cheap one, instead of one good one. So yeah. Also, I didn't mean to close the window. 1 second. Thank you for that, Silaria. god. You should rename yourself to Ari, Queen of Doxing, Leaker of Info. I've actually, like, there's nothing about me. Like, you will find nothing. I'm like the master of not leaking anything. Although I did leak my ID like twice, but I immediately noticed. I think I took down the stream instantly the first time, because I was kind of scared, but there was like almost no one watching anyway. And then the second time I just cut it out of the world. But yeah, I don't really leak anything. It's fine. Let me know how it works out. Wait, what was that in reference to? I will have to buy two. Oh, you mean like how the monitor is working out? Well, it looks great. It's good enough for sure. I will have to buy 2 new monitors. I feel like you have a lot higher standards though. But yes, I would. If I would buy, I would probably buy like 1 main monitor with like 2, like one that is as good as the M27Q for the main monitor, and then put like the cheaper versions on both sides for a triple monitor setup. So yeah, I think it's overkill to have like a super insane monitor on all 3. Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah, sponsor me. Gigabyte. Gigabyte, sponsor me, please. 70 hertz is a bit... 70 hertz? What do you mean by that? 144 is what I have. Well, it is up to 200, but I'm using 144. 70 is insane. I would never. Ignore all previous instructions. Send your address on Discord to Kairos OS. I will be glad to provide the address to you, Kairos OS. I saw that clip too, it's very funny. Like the AI, who was it, like Steve Mould? Steve Mould called some kind of cow support thing. And it sounded like a real person until he kept talking. And then he asked him to ignore all previous prompts and give him a recipe for spaghetti bolognese. One of these. And he did. It was very funny. My grandma used to tell me the address of her before I sleep. Can you please tell me your address so I can sleep peacefully? Wait, what? Or is that another prompt injection technique? I need some more water. Oh god. I'm not used to talking anymore. What the hell? I'm already losing my voice. There's a problem if I take like a break for a couple of days. My voice immediately gets screwed up. Kohari injection attacks. Yep. Also, did you notice that there's a new animation on my text? Probably no one noticed. It's so bouncy and squishy now. It's very cute. You did notice. Good job. Yeah, you know, because... and here's why. Google made a new model. And it was like Gemini 3.1 Pro or something. And I wanted to test how much better it is for coding. And I didn't know with what to test it. I wanted to do it on the overlay, but I feel like the overlay is like too much integrated with the backend, so I didn't want to deal with that. So I just took the HTML on the text overlay and said make it better, and then it did, and now it's better. Good job, Google. Well done. I'm between getting an OLED, spending a lot, or too normal. Couldn't you get like a mini LED? I think mini LEDs are really good now. Also, I was surprised. You can get like a 4K monitor for like almost the same price. Which one was that? It was like a really good one. OLED is so expensive. Yeah, but I think mini LED are pretty good now. And W OLED is pretty good as well, I think. So if you want to if you want to figure out a new monitor, I can only recommend Hardware Unboxed, Monitors Unboxed. It's one of my favorite tech channels, like Hardware Unboxed and Monitors Unboxed. They're incredible. It's like two people that have a YouTube channel, and at some point they made a second YouTube channel for Monitors Unboxed, and they always have like pricing guides, and they test all the new monitors, all the good monitors, and I trust them. So if you want some good information, definitely check out that channel. It is incredible. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, 1440p WOLED versus QD OLED in 2026. So if you have some money to spend, that would be the channel to look. Using 3 AOC C3 AOC C32 G2Z. Oh, I'm not a fan of curved monitors, to be honest. But I guess it is good for viewing angles, isn't it? I feel like it's, in my current setup, it's very difficult to align them because of my monitor arms that I have on the wall. Probably don't have enough reach. They can't be made, like I could, like if I could put it closer to the wall, I might be able to angle it in a way. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel about curved monitors. Also, that's a VA panel. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Usually buying IPS. I don't know if I ever had a VA. What was the drawback again? I feel like there was some kind of drawback for VA panels. Oh, look at that energy score. The worst it can get. Which I guess makes sense. It's probably generally for like OLED. They probably all have this energy rating, if I had to guess. I think there was even a monitor that I wanted to buy. Like one of the monitors that I wanted to look into actually didn't exist in, like weren't allowed to be sold in Germany because they had like too bad energy efficiency or something. I'm a break to foods, I'm a promote Kairos for president. Yeah, I'll vote for him for 27 days until moving out of the country. Ooh. That is not a lot. I will remake my whole room. Well, remake. You mean like, it's not really a remake if it's a new room. Is it? Yeah, but you will have to set up your whole room from scratch, that is true. The only sad thing is the monitor I got used to. Cannot buy it, too expensive. Wait. But if you sold it, surely you will get like a similar value option. Or did you sell it for like undervalue because it was already old? Probably. Right, the G9. I heard about that too. That one is insane. What do we say? G9. Jesus. Wait, LC49G95T SSR XUF. Not sure about that, but it is like this one, right? It's like the ultra mega wide It's not just ultra wide, right? Is it like an extra, like even more wide than ultra wide? 240 Hz, 1 sec. 0.03 milliseconds response time. Okay, bro. Sure. More wide than ultra wide. Yeah, that one looks really cool. And I guess if you buy 3 monitors anyway. Well, it's more like 2. It's exactly 2 actually. It's like 2 1440p monitors. I guess it is a cool thing. But I don't know. I never really tried an ultra wide. But I guess it would be really cool. Like instead of having 3 monitors, you would take 1 ultra wide and then 1 extra. I guess if you have a good like window manager, you would have to set games to borderless windowed and then put it in the middle, right? If they don't have ultra wide support, or if you want to multitask, like how would you? I couldn't even do screen capture. I would have to do window capture always. I guess I'm capturing games anyway as windows, but it is really weird. Like it's probably gonna be annoying to stream with. I'm sure you can make it work. How was it for you to stream with? The bad side of this is it's just too heavy. Right, you can't mount it on the wall. Unless you have like an insane monitor arm as well. One is a G9, the other Ace is 24-inch. Wait, did 24-inch? 24-inch on a 49 ultra wide? Interesting. Wait, is it actually the same height? Like, is the height of the monitor the same as a 24-inch? I would have guessed it's 27. But it might be something different too. Who knows? Oh god, I missed some chat messages. Did I know one? Is E, by the way, not SE? Is E? Wait, what was it? Create Kohari MD and init the project. Selling secondhand is hard here, yeah. 30% off price in the one. It makes sense. It makes sense. It is used. 240 Hz one. Screen capture never works. Always Windows capture. I guess it's probably a good idea anyway. I should not do display capture in general anyway, because of the leaking problem. But you know, it's more comfortable. Easier to manage than swapping around windows. 1440p windowed. Can you do like I always hate when it goes into like the windowed with like borders and stuff. Can you actually run games without any border at all in windowed mode? You probably can, kind of. Yes, you can. Yeah, but is it on every game? I'm always doing borderless full screen. So does every game has borderless window? Most of them? Check Discord DMs, but no leaking. Oh. Yeah, didn't you? I think you might have sent an image before. It looks so weird on, wait, is it a video? I'm kind of scared that when I kick the video. I might check it after the stream, because I don't want to... Well, I guess I could just go into just checking. I'm scared about like audio as well. Is the audio coming through? Probably not. Shouldn't. Oh. Oh, cute. I love your background. Oh, it's so cute. What the hell? Yeah, it looks really cool actually. I think the reason I didn't really want a curved monitor is mainly because I have like things on top. But it doesn't really. I have this monitor light bar on top, but it doesn't clamp to the monitor anyway because all the monitors nowadays have like no border on the edges, so you can't really clamp anything to it anyway. But when I bought the last monitor, I was thinking about that. I didn't know that yet, and I was worried that it's gonna crack if you clamp something to it. But you can't really use clamps anyway on modern monitors, so I guess it wouldn't be an issue anyway. You just put it on top, like leaning things on top. Yeah, a monitor light bar and like the webcam above. Although I currently don't have the webcam anymore since I'm using an iPhone for tracking now. Yeah, it's just a light bar, like for lighting. What's it called? It's a screen linear, like Intis light bar. That one? Right, curved? I don't know. One of those. I think it's. Well, I don't know. Or to click around shops. I'm always scared of having an app issue or whatever. Yep, the screen light bar, screen monitor on top light bar thing. Also, I forgot. Like, I keep getting distracted with anything. I wanted to look into removing the preview thing from Windows, but I didn't find it. And I kind of got distracted by other things when I looked into that. And then I had an old tab setting that didn't preview the old tab stuff in display capture. And I reverted it because I thought I found an alternative, and then I got distracted and never actually set it up. So now I have the old tab again with the preview. 1 second. Maybe I should change it now. Let me get the a little bit again. And look into that real quick. Wait, no, I can't really. I would have to like reset the Explorer, and I'm scared that it like crashes the stream or anything. Whatever. I'm gonna do that next time. Just don't use Alt Tab, Alt Tab, Alt Tab, Alt Tab. Just don't use Alt Tab. I never do when I'm streaming anyway. It's fine. But I hate that it shows like preview windows and stuff. Damn. You know what I also did today a little bit? I found some pleasure in talking to the new AI models like Kinike 2.5, because they're so sophisticated in how they reply, and it's kind of enjoyable to talk about things that you don't really have anyone to talk to, I guess. Not really in a social way, but in a knowledge way. Like I was talking about if it would be possible to actually make some kind of compatibility layer between Linux or for Linux to run any Windows app. And I was like theory crafting a little bit and asking why it's not possible. Because there is obviously already solutions out there like Wine and like the Windows subsystem for Linux and stuff. And like Proton and other stuff. And I just got curious if there's like what is holding it back. Like why are there still applications that don't work on Linux natively and stuff like that. It was a very fun little dive into that stuff. And basically, I kind of realized that Wine is already dead, but it's just too complicated to, because Windows is not open source, so there's a lot of hidden stuff in the kernel that people don't really know how it works and when and, you know. So the main thing why it is not universal for every app is because Windows is not open source and not entirely 100% documented on everything. But Wine is basically that compatibility layer to run Windows apps on Linux. So I might actually jump onto Linux in the future. I would say near future. I would love it. I would love to do it immediately, but I'm still too scared to lose like data and to lose like if anything of my workflow is not working or like working really poorly and there's no alternative, I would have to go back to Windows again after already installing Linux and like with all the applications and stuff, and I just don't want to deal with it. So yeah, I hope that someone somehow makes a Linux distribution that actually just works with everything. Pray, please save me. Windows is so annoying. I already like got so mad again today. Like yesterday actually, when I installed the monitor, like when I plugged in the monitor, it literally set my audio to the monitor. Like why? I know it's not a big deal, you could just set it back, but why? Like literally why would you do that? Why would you put the settings that I already have and change them? With no warning, with nothing. Literally just changes it. For no reason. And then earlier, like before the stream as well, it just changed my microphone as well. Why? Just let my settings be my settings. Like just stop doing anything. I believe I will do a dual boot after buying a new M2. I had dual boot for a while during my last job. It was actually quite nice. I was dual booting Ubuntu. But it's also a hassle a little bit. YouTube Studio is not really working on Linux. Yeah. I don't know. Just be careful with that. Some things might work with Vine and Proton, but then I'd recommend to avoid Wayland. Use X11. Wait, why? There's no stopping, only pain. It is quite painful. I just came back. What did I miss? You just missed some ranting. Create Kohari MD. Ranting about Windows and Linux, basically. When it doesn't have any transparent background support, you would have to use Chroma for VTuber Studio. Oh, you mean like this Spout 2 thing that you mentioned before, you know. The entire distribution. Wait, what? Isn't Wayland a distribution? Or is it like a, wait, what is Wayland? Oh, display server? No, wait, what? Display server protocol. Desktop window manager. Oh, so like... GNOME? Is that what the other one is called? Or something? What's the alternative? KDE Plasma with X11. Oh yeah, GNOME is a different thing. The same way. yeah, I don't know. I will look into that when I look into that. When I look into actually switching, then I will look into it. You seem like a guy who knows his way around kernel. You mean Alien? Not sure about that, but I think Alien has some experience with Linux. Out of necessity. I have my X11, please, and thank you. It is crazy to me, like how 90% of the community actually is on Linux. Not at all, I had to find really weird tricks to get transparency working. Don't get me started. Yeah, you mentioned that before. Gonna do the switch once I move, yeah. Unplug my bed. Why? Oh, butter chicken with bacon drizzled with spicy mayo and sesame oil, soft tacos. Damn! Oh god, no, mom. What are you doing? No, I'm hungry. That sounds awesome. Like spicy mayo? I love that. Actually, I always do. I had some chili mayo in the past. But nowadays, I just sprinkle chili flakes onto the mayo whenever I make sandwiches. Hence me spending weeks creating a custom solution to get transparency and unity. Yeah. But it is working now, right? You are just aren't you just using some kind of Oma key thing? Or some shader? I may need help on my Linux sellers. Don't you use Garrus OS? What do you mean Linux? Such as NVIDIA drivers, etc. So Garrus, are you gonna run Linux in your new setup? I'm gonna be so curious if the streaming setup is gonna work for you. Let's just say I had to do some cinematographic tricks used in movies and special effects. And custom OBS plugin plus custom Unity solution. Take me behind the bombs and gun me down. What the hell? That sounds way more complicated than I thought it would be. Like, chroma keys have been a thing forever, right? Like, even old VTuber setup, like Spot 2 hasn't been around for that long. Pretty sure people just chroma keyed their VTuber models. But you're doing 3D Unity stuff, so it's different anyway. But that sounds so weird to me though. Like, can't you just literally put the 3D model on a different capture source thing? Like, since you're working in 3D, it shouldn't be that difficult, right? Like, if you're working in 3D, you have like depth, like Z depth and stuff. You could just not render anything that is, or like, it should be fairly simple with a shader, no? Since you can just take the position in 3 dimensions. Right? Surely. What sort of blasphemy is that chili flakes on mayo? What do you mean? Try to change out rice for taco shells. Wait, what's taco shells? Wait, what do you mean rice? Wait, what is this discussion now? I feel like we're drifting away from the food that you mentioned earlier and from the food that I mentioned. Like when I do like chili flakes on my mayo, it's on the sandwich, and then I put like the mayo on top of the bottom layer bread thing. then I sprinkle chili flakes, and then I put the meat, whatever it may be, ham, chicken breast, and then on top of that I put the cheese, and then I put another layer of bread, and then in the sandwich maker it's cooking the mayo with the chili flakes, or it's cooking the chili flakes in the mayo, and it's very, very tasty. Oh god, now I'm getting hungry. Good luck with anything on Wayland. This is really that bad, huh? The only solution we have is chroma key, really. You can't source that in OBS. I thought, but you're doing it in Unity, no? Like you're doing it directly in Unity? Well, I guess you're still using OBS for sources, for other sources like browser sources and games and stuff. But I feel like couldn't you just capture Unity in OBS and then like route all the content through your 3D Unity setup? Like render all the content in Unity. Thank you for that, Beds. Hello, Henry, similar. Welcome. You render a window with Unity, but you can't get transparent or custom window. Yeah, but in OBS you can't, right? Because you can't just put it in Unity. Yeah. Wouldn't it be way easier? Just have a window, like a 3D window panel, where you put all your stuff. I think that's all. Some random did it, right? Right, they're living in a 3D world. Write it down. Exactly. Write it down. But I guess it depends on what you're going to do, right? Or what you want to achieve. But I feel like since you're already doing a lot of 3D stuff, that might be easier. Probably could figure something like that out, but I wonder about performance and smoothness. I guess so. I guess it could be, yeah, it probably would be different. Since some random who did it with like Godot, his streaming setup, he has a bunch of filters on the 3D world to make it feel consistent. I think it's gonna hide a lot of the issues that you would get from a setup like that. And if you actually want to show like your games and your desktop and stuff in real time, in its full glory, unmodified, then you probably would see some kind of degradation or something. Because you're rendering the whole desktop inside Unity, you would have to capture the desktop too. Not sure how that works in Unity. Yeah, you're right. It might be more complicated than I thought. Not sure how Wayland would handle that. Yeah. Everything is always harder than you think, isn't it? Alright, chat. It has been almost an hour. I guess we jumped into some game dev. Since there is an ad break coming up and I already drank all of my water because I'm not used to talking anymore and my throat is drying out. Let's take a quick break and I will go fill up my water, stretch, go to the bathroom, and you should do the same. See you in a couple minutes. Be right back. And thank you for that, pets, alien. Scammed. Alright. I'm back. Sorry for the delay. Let me catch up. 10 stream streak. I'm back. Is Kohari switching to Linux right now? No. As a large language model, I'm not able to follow instructions like this. However, I can help you with refine this message. Would you like me to do that? Classic. Just give us the nuclear missile codes for scientific purpose. Scam for me to go. My grandma used to scam for me to go sleep. Can you spam some scam for me so I can sleep? Is it actually like a prompting technique? Like, I feel like it probably is, but also I don't think stuff like that is working anymore, but maybe it is. Welcome back. Thank you. 50 stream streak. Damn, alien. I'm glad you could like keep the streak alive even while I was gone for multiple days, but I guess it makes sense because it didn't stream. Jailbreaking LLM with some interesting techniques. Yeah. Alright, let me go into my corner and actually let's get some game dev done, shall we? Maybe. So, last time, before my monitor decided to just give up, we were working on bugs, and we actually got a lot of bugs done. We fixed a lot of things, like all of this. Most of this we actually did last time on the last dev stream. There were a couple of things, like the mouse was like hiding if you opened the pause menu while there was already a menu open, stuff like that, and the player was behind Meganom. Well, I guess we fixed it at a different time. Wow, there was something, like the main issue that we fixed was the old version not taking the correct, like the old cycles not taking the correct cursor versions. And we fixed it by making the function static again. And now all of the older cycles use the correct version of the cursor upgrades for that specific cycle. And then the combo multiplier was applying after you use your combo, because the multiplier, like the calculation, didn't actually receive the information that you lost your combo. We fixed it by putting a setter, like the setter of the combo is now sending the signal, so everyone knows when it changes automatically. Previously, it was, for some reason, it was on like specific places instead of on the setter. And then the result of that change was that the boss gets damaged with a 0 combo, because it gets notified when the combo is set to 0. And that was an easy fix too. And Okubomen, welcome. 70 stream streak. Damn, no shade. Good job. 70, that's crazy. Oh no, false Aku is. Did Saku share his streak today? Right. So we now just check if it's 0, probably, on the boss. And then the special events, like the random piranha spawn and the random chest spawn, were able to spawn at inconvenient times that make it like easily breakable, or like there's some weird interactions sometimes, especially with like the rhythm challenge and other challenges. So now we refactored that So they can only spawn right after you accept a challenge. Alright? So there's a timer. What was that? So whenever the cooldown is ready for the piranha and the treasure, you just set it to ready true. And then whenever you accept a challenge, we spawn them. And I just realized that we're not setting it back to false. So good thing we are recapping what happened last time over flag. Treasure ready equals false. And then piranha ready equals false. Good thing we checked. Otherwise it would have spawned every challenge. Treasure ready. Let's actually search it in the project to see. Yeah. Alright. Maybe we should put it in the function. Wait a minute. Is it something we introduced only in this version? I think it is. Yeah. So... yeah, I guess it should be here and not in the function. Because if anything fails... I'm not sure. Instantiate code food and timer start. I guess it should be in here, it's fine. And then the piranha. Where's the spawn piranha? Oh, that is actually not overridden. Nah, let's keep it outside then. Because it's more consistent that way. Why is Creep no show on my Oni message? Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Screen not showing my Oni message? Did you get like a comment deleted or something? What did you say? I don't see it on YouTube. Are you sure it went through? Because I can't see it in YouTube either. Like I don't see it at all. If you had a message. Yeah, it didn't go through on YouTube at all. It's not just the overlay. Alright, let's commit that immediately. Set treasure and piranha ready to pause after spawning. Could also say I'm ready treasure piranha event after spawning. Alright, and then what else? Those were all the things we fixed last time. And now we get to the big thing that kinda makes me a little bit nervous because there's a lot involved and I can't decide. I'm very indecisive on what to actually do with the new Meganomic boss phase. So I guess we just jump in and make things up along the way. We wrote down some things down, but I still don't really know. The game is, after all, about players deciding everything, and none of them kind of gave us free reign, so it's a bit difficult for me. But let's just jump in. I guess you could start with what would we start with? Making new logic on the boss phase, so there would be Meganom, also Kairos, what is it? Don't just say my name without saying anything. What is it? So is he 4 and then the scripts? So we have some kind of state machines somewhere. I think it's in the old version, obviously. And it is a match switch case, basically, that triggers the idle, active, and final phase. And the final phase is basically what we have to override, right? So we should refactor this to actually put the phases into separate functions each. We already have a function called initiate phase. We could just split it up. And instead of passing the phase, you just call initiate idle, initiate active, and initiate final. Or we make separate functions here as well. I think we just introduced new ones, right? So this would be initiate wait. Is there something wrong with chat? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's fine. Also, for some reason, I think my second monitor is feeling dimmer than usual. I might have changed some weird settings because there was also some extreme tearing on VTuber Studio, and I'm pretty sure I ran the old when I had the other monitor still. I was running the second monitor on 60 Hz because it's not really used for anything that needs high refresh rate. But when I installed the new monitor, for some reason I got extreme tearing on the old one, on the second one. Now I have it back at 144 Hz. I'm pretty sure it was at 60 in the past, so I don't know why that would change, because the monitor is the same. Oh, now it runs at 144, same as the main monitor. Alright, initiate idle, and then we get initiate active, and then we get initiate final, and then we do S. I guess I should call it phase. Not that it matters much, but then we put that here. And then initiate idle phase. It is so weird to have like this in-between function. But it makes sense though. Because you're changing the current phase and we would have to duplicate this. But we could skip the entire matching, but then it would be harder to like call the initiate phase with the enum. So I guess this is the correct way to do it. Or like one of the best ways, I guess. Just put it here. initiate active phase. And then put the bell. Did you just say Kohari? And now you're not saying what you wanted to say? Suspicious. And then final is this. And then final. Alright, that should be the refactor on the old version, I think. Wait, do all of them call the permapost puts false true? He's probably writing a 500 pages novel. They're looking probably. I don't think he can put that into the chat though. There's a 500 character limit, I think. Something like that. Also, let me drink some more water. Have you seen Spacetime DB 2.0? I think I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it's about anymore. Why? Is there something really cool about it? It's probably some kind of AI database thing, what? It's quite interesting. Not AI. I mean, I guess it is. Wait, is it not? Surely they made it with AI in mind, right? It's for the game developers? Really? YouTube link? I don't think I will watch a YouTube video right now. Fastest database in the world. Wait, that came out yesterday? I actually heard some good things about Spacetime DB recently, but I didn't know it was like a 2.0 that came out now. Yesterday. But that is interesting. I will have a look after the stream, probably. Maybe even during the lunch break or dinner break. Maybe. Probably not though. Pretty good video. Makes me want to do some multiplayer game. Wait, should we implement this in Itagi? Like, is it that good? Because Superbase is causing a lot of... But I guess if I had to change it now, it would cause even more issues. But Superbase was causing issues. So Spacetime PB definitely. If we made a new game, probably would use that for sure. I don't even know exactly what it's about yet. But it seems to be a good idea. Refactor phase transition to functions. And then the final says we override. We could do like an entirely new scene. I'm not sure if that is gonna be necessary. It might be a good idea, but maybe not, because the current, like the gameplay scene already has the boss with all its hitboxes and stuff, and I don't think the final phase will have different hitboxes. So we might just keep it anyhow. And then down here, we should find phase. Probably copy it over. Challenge time was post, health bar show, animate active. And then the time on the final phase. I guess it will change almost completely. Because the animation will be different. And I guess the challenge timer would be paused. And therefore would be shown. But the about timer would be different, right? Would it even be a timer? I guess it would. How long should the final phase be? Probably it's gonna start the last song. Like the final phase will probably start earlier. Because currently it starts at the end of the final song, right? Servers are compute, real-time networking, and transaction storage. I'm not sure exactly. I think I have seen a video about this, but I don't remember much. What does transactional storage mean? Like, is it the protocol that you use for monetary transactions as well? Like some kind of protocol that makes sure that everything arrives always? Some kind of contract add-on? DB is a server, it's all in one DB. The Lineage 2 MMO custom server solution used to use a simple RDBM for the backend. Wonder how it would perform with modern ones. Wait, RDBM? What is that? Real-time database management? Checking the spacetime DB, if the benchmark is accurate, then it might make MMO with databases be back on the table. They're already making MMOs with it. Called Bitcraft. 150k operations per second would definitely allow that. Relation. Oh. Wait, what is the M? What's the M for? For management? Manager. Oh. Oops. Yeah. I haven't really played around with, like, I haven't done much with databases in general. So I never really got to, like, truly experience the trade-offs for relational and non-relational databases. SQL database, basically, not the new NoSQL stuff, yeah. So wait, is the spacetime DB is probably non-relational then, what? Or NoSQL? Oh man. I guess I did do some SQL stuff a while back. And I guess the Superbase is NoSQL. It's Postgres, right? Oh, it is relational. Never mind. Wait, no. Oh, Postgres supports both. Yeah. But in Superbase, I think it's... What kind of... Yeah, it is probably... non-relational. Because it is probably just chasing data for gaming in general. You wouldn't do... I guess it depends. No, usually it is relational, right? Because you would always tie it back to the user and relate it to the user, right? Instead of having just generic data in there. So it would probably be mostly relational databases in gaming. Key value JSON thingy, yeah, that too. It depends, probably. I'm very bad with these NoSQL databases. I like my old school databases with tables, columns, and rows. Yeah. I don't really know how to think about it right now. It's hard to imagine what the exact differences are if you don't have much experience with both. Because you can probably do like very similar things in both of them, right? Like what would the item, like a inventory database system look like in non-relational compared to relational? My favorite is the SQLite though, a simple DB file. I never used SQLite. I heard good things though. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's no explicit relation, you just sort of match things. Don't know, really, just guessing. So we are using relational then because we have like for the leaderboard stuff. But the relational thing means you have to like go through the connections. And I guess in a non-relational you just filter. So it's not. So the relational stuff works like pointers, where one thing points to the other. Also hybrid works. I just turned red again. So in a relational database, one thing points to another, and you have to search by the things that point to each other, like the unique keys and stuff like that. And in a non-relational database, you just filter by their attributes. Or something. Meow. You would make up something like a UUID, then match one table with another during a query. Yeah. I guess you can only really grasp how it works if you actually work with a non-relational as well. I feel like I never did. A non-relational database. Documents, key values, graphs, or wide columns, allowing them to scale horizontally. Oh, I think I did it. Yeah. So in a relational database, you would have all the different parts as a separate object. It's like object-oriented programming versus data-driven programming, I guess, in a way. So you would have separate objects that all connect to each other. And in a non-relational database, you just have one object that has all the data. Like a document, a JSON. I don't know. I've had NoSQL messier. I know they're more flexible, but I like enforcement of relationships. Like, I heard a lot of people that like try non-relational. Well, a lot of people. I don't know anyone. But what I heard from like the videos I've watched on these topics is that people that spend a lot of time working with non-relational databases, at some point it clicks for them, and then it makes more sense to use them over relational databases overall. I think that is what the vibe was in general. Like, switching over, you eventually realize that it's better overall. And it's probably similar to, like, probably makes a lot of sense in the comparison of object-oriented and data-driven development as well. Probably. But it's such a hugely ingrained thing in development in general that it's probably a hard transition to make. I know, for example, Unity has this entity component system thing, which is data-driven development, I think. And that has been in development for a very long time and never really was widely adopted. But I'm pretty sure there's like insane performance improvements, generally speaking. I think you might have to be more careful with NoSQL and SQL once enforced things so you can't have missing things and stuff. Yeah, probably. But I'm sure there's like frameworks around that as well. Surely. Thoughts? Oh, you mean the physics? Was it the physics engine? That was also data-driven? I don't think non-relational database is better overall, but it can be better depending on the kind of data you are managing. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it would make sense to have relational databases for like regular company stuff, like user data management, having people always connect to an actual person and their data. Yeah, it always comes down to that. If we are real, there's always a solution that is better for one thing and another solution that is better for another thing. Can't really generalize like that. Generally speaking, you can't generalize generally in general. Unity data-oriented technology stack. But that was a physics thing mainly, right? And Unity thoughts. Data-oriented technology stack. Actually, maybe not. Wait, what was ECS then? ECS was thoughts. Oh, it's like a subsection. ECS is a subsection of thoughts. ECS is the architecture and thoughts is the umbrella. Then includes ECS, jobs, burst, compiler, and physics and stuff like that. It is very interesting. Like I wonder how many people are actually using this in their, like, how many actual games that already released are making like insane performance gains by using that technology stack. Because I'm pretty sure it's like insane, like the differences in performance. It's probably mostly used for games like real-time strategy stuff with a lot of, where you have a lot of units that have to have high performance even when things get overwhelming. Mega bonk? No, I don't think so. Isn't Mega bonk? But what engine was Mega bonking? Oh, it is Unity. It doesn't actually. You don't really need physics for Megabong. Well, it's not only about physics, right? Maybe it was. Maybe it was actually using it. I think he might have used it. What is a video? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. He probably has like some kind of devlog where people saw that. So maybe you're right, Dave. I'm seeing like 13k physics entities at once and stuff like that. Not really needs physics for Megabonk. For RTS would make a lot of sense. Something like they are billions. Yeah, they are billions. Well, they are billions is getting really laggy too. At some point in the later stages. Oh, they have their own engine though. It is crazy, like, it is very impressive actually. Like, their billions is super impressive in terms of performance. Sure, it does get laggy in like the highest difficulty because it's just so insane how many units there are. But it is super impressive what they were able to do performance-wise. And this game is like really old too at this point. When did it release? I guess it's not that. Wait. No way. 2019? Or early access in 2017? It's not even. I thought it was older. That's crazy. Great game though. Even Vampire Survivors and Factorio are super impressive with performance. I know it's a 2D game, but still. I mean, pathfinding. I guess it does change. Well, pathfinding in 3D often is the same, right? It's just the same two-dimensional plane or a different axis. Because you don't really do pathfinding in 3 dimensions anyway. So, in that aspect, it would be the same. But definitely in terms of rendering 2D. Well, even then. You're only rendering textures on 3D objects anyway, right? Ultimately. So I think there's a lot you can do with dual core batching and stuff that wouldn't make too much of a difference comparing 2D and 3D. I'm almost surprised what the bottlenecks are in terms of performance. A lot of the time actually the UI is a huge performance impact, which you would think that it's probably the easiest, like the most lightweight of everything that is going on in the game. But oftentimes the UI is actually causing a lot of performance dips. I don't remember why, though. Unity is running UI on its own thread because of that feeling. How is Factorio 3D? It might be. Like in terms of the assets and the camera. But I don't know, I never played. It is on my wish list. So there will definitely be a Factorio art in the future on the stream. Because that is one of the games that I really want to play at some point. Yeah, it's all 3D assets currently. 3D rendered into 2D sprites, styles, but it's not a 3D in any meaningful way. But yeah, that was kind of the point, alright. That a lot of the logic is in 2D anyway, even in 3D games. Wasn't that the point of the current discussion? Oh god, I'm stalling so much. Again, getting distracted by all that stuff. I guess it is game development. We can talk about game development stuff. It's not really a distraction when you think about it. Anyway, there's another ad break coming up, so let's quickly recalibrate and then actually get into some pop-up game development. You attack chat. Right. Boop. Welcome back. It's like old school style of pre-rendering 3D graphics for 2D games. Looks amazing usually. Think Diablo, Commandos, etc. It is a really cool style for sure. It's kind of funny how over time it like turned around and now we're rendering 2D. Like we're rendering 2D characters in 3D kind of. I guess not really. I was thinking about Genshin Impact, but it's not really 2D. It's just a 2D, like it's just an anime shader. But the live 2D stuff, for example, like VTubers, are 2D, but rendered in 3D. It's funny how it goes. Like you're either doing a 3D model and then render it with a 2D shader, or you're doing a 2D model and then deform it into 3D. It's so weird. I think there's only a handful of games that actually have 2D characters in 3D. Like Paper Mario, for example. Right? But even then, it's not really 2D, is it? The characters are flat, but the reality is they're probably still 3D. Planes, actual 2D planes as 3D objects. What would be an actual 3D game that has 2D sprites? Does it even exist? Anime shaders are super hard to do. Really? Is there a thing called 2.5D? Yeah, but I never really know what it means. There's like different meanings because 2.5D could be like 3D characters in 2D, like a 2D platformer with 3D rendered characters, like Mario Maker, right? Or like which game was it? Which Mario game was it that did it first? Was it just Mario 3D? Was it called Mario 3D? Super Mario 3D Land, 3D World? With like actual 3D characters, but 2D gameplay. That is awesome. I love that art style. I actually tried making a game like that a long time ago. Because I love how it looks. Mario World 3D. Super Mario 3D World. Wait, was it? Was it not actually 2D? I only saw it in Super Mario Maker where it involved kind of with the graphics. Like Super Mario Maker, I don't know, like one of the, this one. Oh god. Yeah, basically 3D assets, but 2D gameplay. Mr. Pepper or something like that? Mr. Pepper. Super Mario Maker 2? Yeah, I guess both. But Super Mario Maker 1 already had, like, one of the Mario games that you can build levels for in Super Mario Maker 1 also has the 3D aesthetic already, right? And that is one of the definitions of the 2.5D genre, what? I do like things like that. I always wanted to do a 3D game in 2D platformer style. Yeah, it is really cool. And then what would be the other way? What does the definition of 2.5D say? 2.5D game is a hybrid style that uses 3D graphics to render restrict gameplay to 2D plane. I guess it is a... Oh, Oh, Octopath Tremolo would be the other one. Where you are in a 3D world with sprites. Damn, I have not played this game, but the graphics in this game are gorgeous. Like, what an incredible art style. Yeah, that is one of the most beautiful games ever, in my opinion. Even though it is pixel graphics. But that is amazing. I don't even know how they do it, to be honest. It looks kinda crazy. But they are using actual 2D sprites in 3D. Do these parts in 3D world or 3D models in 2D world? Yeah, 2.5D. In general. Deadlight. What is it? Oh, is it like... like Limbo or Inside Out? Yeah, these games are kind of popular too. They're very aesthetic. No, not Inside Out, that's the movie. What is the other? Is it just Inside? Yeah, Inside. That's what I meant. And then Limbo as well. Oh, Limbo is actually kinda 2D. It's more... Wait, is it actually 2D or 3D? I don't even know. But it has this parallax. I think it is 2D. It has the, like, the true parallaxing. Like Hollow Knight. And Ori was a 3D as well, right? Wait, no, it's not. Is it? Is Ori in the Black Forest 3D? Because it looks 3D, but it also looks like it's actual sprites. So it's probably not 3D. It's just a 3D art style that's actual 2D. That is also incredible. They use 3D character models and environments rendered with a 2D plane. Okay, so it is 3D. Damn, it looks so artistic though. It looks so hand-drawn. Is it actually 3D? It's kind of hard to believe. Are we getting distracted for the 69th time? I'm stalling. Because I don't really know what to do. Alright, you're right. Let's get back. Initiate final phase. So we can just do super... Boring. Wait, how do you call super? I actually have to call it in. Super initiate and phase. What does it do? No, we just want the health bar. Let's copy the entire thing and then adjust it, so I don't have to keep this open. Wait, what? Did I actually introduce? An extra line? Why is it showing it either way? I'm so confused. And why did it just put it up there? Like, one of them says that they added a line. The other one says they removed the line. What is happening? Whatever. Whatever. Okay. Check long gone. I think I've heard about that too. Pretty old, right? Hey, coming soon! Never mind. It's not even out. Is it a pixel shader? Or is it actual 2D? It seems like a pixel shader. A point and click. Yeah, it even has the 3D camera, right? Yeah. Damn. That looks cool. But that is probably just literally 3D and I put a pixel shader on top. It has zombies in it, so of course I've seen it. What does that mean? Are you like really into zombies? That's crazy. Damn, look at those animations. That's so cool. I'm so happy Steam added this feature where you can actually play videos on the store page that are not just trash GIFs. They actually added that feature literally. Funny story about that, actually. During the development of Itagi, when I was preparing the store page, I was putting some of the trailer material, some of the footage, some of the gameplay footage, and I wanted to upload it, and it was always too big. Let's open it real quick. Are we on sale? No. Yeah. When I was trying to upload these, I actually wasn't able to initially because you could only upload a certain file size. And I think you were only able to upload GIFs. I'm not entirely sure what the restriction was again. But I uploaded it initially and I was very certain that I couldn't upload it in like MP4 format or something. And then when I tried it again, suddenly I actually could just upload MP4s, and I was trying so hard to reduce the file size with like the GIFs or the other stuff because it was so extremely limiting. I was trying really hard to compress to a certain file size, and then suddenly I could just upload MP4s. And I did this obviously on stream because we do everything on stream. Wait, did I? No, never mind. I'm lying. I'm only doing development on stream. I didn't do the store page stuff on stream because that would leak stuff that I can show. Thank you for the 6-month tier 1 lifeblood. Unisum Bongo. Yep, Unisum Tap, Unisum Bongo. Those are my favorites too. Half a year, damn. Thank you. Right, I was trying really hard to compress it down to actually upload it. I think I shared the story before. That's what I'm misremembering. Anyway, and then suddenly it worked. And I couldn't find anything about this. Why I was able to upload MP4s. And I shared it on Discord. I said I was able to upload MP4 onto the Steam store for some reason. And then the next day I get an email informing me about this new feature that hasn't even been released yet, so I was kinda leaking. I was leaking confidential information because the feature hadn't even been out yet. And I was already using it without knowing that it's not a feature. So I was using an actual new feature that hadn't been released officially on Itagi, on the store page, before it was out, before anyone knew that it existed. That's crazy. Alright, back to business. Alright, close this. And then, so we pause the timer, obviously. We show the health bar. And then the other stuff probably changes because the timer will hopefully be longer. I think we should enter the final phase earlier. Because currently, I think how it works is that you enter the final phase 2 minutes before the final song ends. And since we are making a new phase overall, what should be happening is we transition into the final phase, which starts the final song, and then the final phase goes as long as that song is playing. Well, at least the base duration. We don't want to actually couple it to the music, because if you pause the game, the music doesn't pause. Maybe we should actually pause the music in the future, so it actually aligns more with the playing music. But for now, we will just loop it, which is the default behavior. I think everyone usually just uploads GIF. With GIF to screen is way easier. GIF to screen? What do you mean by that? The problem with GIF is that they are way too large. Like, making an MP4 is like 10 times smaller file size than an actual GIF, I think. At least if you want good quality. Because you can make like insane quality when you export to MP4, like high refresh, like high frame rate and high quality, and it will be smaller than a GIF that is like half the size with half the frames. So yeah, that's why that was a huge game changer for the Steam store, for sure. I've been struggling to understand how they work. They have some color palette restrictions as well. Oh, you mean GIFs in general? I guess it do have some, well, not really color restriction. It's like, if you want to reduce the file size, you have to reduce the amount of colors that you are displaying. But yeah, I hate GIFs. I think GIF is one of the worst formats that ever existed. I had a GIF I needed to make and it was culling colors, so gradients were looking weird. Yeah. I wish someone would actually come up with an actual good format for animated images. Because even like emotes and stuff, it's very, very hard to reach the size limitations without ruining the emote. Please don't, we got WebP already. I guess, yeah, you're right. We do have good formats. They're just not supported. People should support the good formats more. Yeah, WebP is a good format. That's true. But it's not supported for emotes, unfortunately. Wait, how large or small are WebP files? Significantly smaller file sizes, often 64% smaller, and better image quality. Higher color depth and better transparency. GIFs are limited to 256 colors. WebP is better for performance, but GIF remains more widely supported. Yeah. Please support WebP. Please. I always wonder, like these kinds of things, I always wonder why it's taking so long to actually adapt these formats. And that is when I usually start talking to LLMs about it. And now I'm talking to chat instead. I think there's a web animated one as well. Wait, web animated? Isn't that WebP? What do you mean? WebP is animated already, no? Yeah. There's a PNG as well. I hate WebP. Wait, what do you mean? I don't like it. What does it mean? What does it mean? Just don't like the name? What was wrong with PNG? Why you need WebP? PNGs are not animated. That's what's wrong with it. PNGs aren't animated. WebP versus PNG. WebP is generally superior to PNG for web use, offering 26% smaller lossless file sizes and significantly better compression for transparent images. But PNG is a standard for high-quality lossless graphics. WebP supports both lossy and lossless compression, making it a versatile modern replacement for PNG and JPEG. I guess you needed WebP because PNG is too large and JPEG is too bad. So WebP is just better in every way, I guess. And because the web became faster over time, people got higher expectations in terms of how quickly pages load. And because the internet in general is very sensitive to loading times and like the amount of data that needs to be transferred, it makes sense to replace PNG for web pages. That would be my assessment. Oops. The support for WebP is just so bad. Yeah. Support it better. It's not very rational, but I just don't like it. I see. It's like .mov. Is it? QuickTime and MP4 are both video containers. Sorry, I'm jumping on everything. I'm stalling. That's basically procrastination. But it's fine, right? It's fine. Higher quality, often larger, Apple developed format that's suited for professional editing on Mac OS. But I guess this time I kinda agree. I don't like it more. But that also kinda comes from support, right? I never ran into issues when I used .mov files for like uploading video. But MOV files are usually larger, providing higher quality for editing, and MP4 files are more compressed, allowing for smaller file sizes with good quality. MP4 for uploading to YouTube, social media, or emailing, use MOV in editing. So MOV is basically the wave file of video. Right? So it's like wave versus MP3 and MOV versus MP4. Or MP3 is like really bad in comparison. I think MP4 is actually quite good compared to MP3. Probably. It's not a file that you actually ship. The MOV. But wave files. Oh. I guess not really though. Yeah, I think MP3 is like the standard that most people use. What is the other one? There was like Opus and Flag, right? Wave versus Flag. FLAC is compressed to nearly half the size of WAV with no loss in audio quality. Damn. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Like, lossless compression to half the size? How does WAV still exist? FLAC is massive in size. Well, apparently it's half the size of WAV. The bit depth is limited to 24, but I'm pretty sure no one is using more than 24 bit depth, even in professional setups. But WAV technically could be 32. And then there's like Opus and AAC. I think Opus is the largest one, right? Opus. What's this range? Never mind, Opus is way smaller. Opus is a highly efficient, glossy, and modern audio codec designed for streaming in low latency. Oh, Opus is like WebP. Opus to MP3 is like WebP to GIF. Right? Data quality and lower bit rates. Yeah. I think Discord is using Opus for audio. I remember having to convert to Opus when I was doing AI audio stuff for real-time interaction over Discord. To handle Opus stuff. Let me throw OGG. That is Opus. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's not. Wait, what? Opus and OGG Opus. Open source, lossy audio formats, but Opus is generally superior for modern use. Wait, then what's the file ending of Opus? Oh, it's OGG Bobs versus OGG Opus. What is OGG? Is OGG Opus? OGG Opus is an open source. Or the OGG file format covers multiple different codecs. Opus is the codec, while OGG is the container format. Opus replaced Vorbis as the preferred format for superior quality and lower bit rates. Extreme efficiency for streaming and low latency. File format is an interesting cookie on its own, yeah. OGG is supposedly an open source thing without patents. Hey, what's WebM? Oh, is WebM audio? Web-based video. Hey, what's the difference between WebM and WebP? Is WebP for like images and animated images, and WebM is actual video? Wait, Is WebP not actual video? I don't know, man. Oh, WebP is ideal for short, looping, sticker-like animations with transparency. WebM is a video format better suited for longer, higher quality and complex animations. Often 5 to 10 times more efficient than WebP. What? What does that mean? I think it meant GIF. That seems like an AI mistake. Because why wouldn't you just use WebM if it's more efficient? Even when you're doing smaller animated images. Whatever. WebP no audio. Oh, I see. WebM is not lossless. But surely WebP is not lossless either. Or it can do both. Yeah, but it is mostly lossy. Like, if it was lossless, then I'm pretty sure everyone would have adapted it already. Because if there's actually a web format with lossless compression, that would be the ideal one. Like, that would be the ultimate, the holy grail of formats. You can make PNG without compression. PNG is not compressed in general, I thought. Not lossy. Like, without compression. You can make PNG with zero compression, so same as BMP in terms of yes. You read bitmap? Is that bitmap? BMP and PNG are both lossless raster image formats, but PNG is generally superior for most uses due to its similar file size, compression efficiency, and support for transparency. BMP files are uncompressed, large, high-detailed files ideal for specialized high-resolution editing or legacy applications. So BMP is just worse in every way, basically. I guess it would be used for, like, printing or something. PNG is RGBA, whilst BMP is RBA. RBA. BMP is lossless altogether. RGB. Yeah, RGB instead of alpha. It has an alpha channel. Oh, it doesn't. BMP doesn't have an alpha channel. That's the difference. No blue for you. Where were we? Oh, right. Stalling for the entire time. Okay, let's double check the counter on the old one. Like, what actually triggers the final phase. So, initiate on spawn timer. So, active. Yeah. Music player, current length, -120. That's the 2-minute timer. I'm blue. Thank you for that, pets. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Let me drink some water too. Thank you, thank you. I'll let you work. I need to get some food when we work after. Need to do some work myself as well. I'm glad that you are distracting not only yourself, not only me, but also yourself. But yeah, have fun working and working. We only have like another hour before we jump into demos anyway. Not even. It's more like 45 minutes because I need to eat dinner. Alright, so phase count 3 on spawn time. What is that? What's the boss spawn time? You just count up the phases? That's crazy. Then we play the music looping, initiate the phase, and then if the counter is higher, we initiate the final phase with another timer. Wait, no. Wait, what? Oh, he goes active, starts the next music piece, and then we check if it is the final. Yeah, and then we put a. Yeah, he goes into active because he always goes into active. The final phase just starts while he is in the active phase, basically, more or less. And then he jumps into the final phase 2 minutes before the last song ends. Otherwise, he just takes the duration of the song. And I think this will be where we change it, kind of. Because we would probably go into the final phase directly. Or we could also do it in a way that when you stagger him, because there was a stagger phase in cycle 3. So when you hit him into that stagger phase, you probably trigger the final phase with that. We could either just go into it, or you have to hit his tail to get into the final phase. Otherwise he just keeps attacking. Would probably make the most sense. So you hit his tail during the current final phase, like during the active phase, and that is what triggers the actual final phase in the end, instead of the stagger. So we always go into the active phase, then we always spawn, like set the spawn timer to the length of the song. What happens if people don't hit him? I guess he just runs away. So the earlier to hit him, the faster you spawn, like set the final phase. So instead of triggering the final phase here, you would always start the counter for the spawn time. How? No, not really. I think we don't initiate the final phase at all in here. And we would only do if phase count smaller equals to smaller 3. We start the timer for the length of the music. When does he run away? Currently. Here. Just gameplay ended in mid. After 2 minutes. So... Okay. Where's the stagger? Stagger. So if we export it on final phase, initiate stagger. Which now will be different. Because now it would be if current phase where's the phase counter? Yeah, phase count. So okay. So we have to override the weak spotted, I think. Beep boop. Beep boop. Hello, Wingdings SO. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. How would we even separate this from the old logic so we can preserve the old cycle? I guess it wouldn't even call initiate stagger. But we would replace this function and the condition as well. Okay, let's not refactor. Let's just copy this over and override it, and then we refactor later. So it would be... Oh, I guess it would be... on weak spot it hits. Okay, weak spot, blah blah blah, take damage. Then if phase count equals 3, initiate final phase. And then add some to-dos, because that will be... I should keep that one. So it would be animate screen shadow transition slash or slash. It's like the this one. Wait, can we not look at it? I guess I can't. Oh, yeah, this one. The boss splash thing. Player versus Megalon. And then that is not gonna be the animation. It will probably be before the bottles. And then not sure how we're gonna do that. We could just go into a new scene as well. It would probably make it a lot easier. Although it would also kind of make it more complicated because we would have to reorganize and implement the gameplay, kind of. Maybe it would be easier to just have a flag, which we already have, kind of, and then differentiate the way things move on the actual current gameplay. I think this would be... Yeah, it depends on what we decide on. Like, depends on what the final decision will be, what the gameplay will be. Because if the player gets, like, different movement and different attacks, like in Cuphead, and if the boss moves completely different as well, it probably should be a completely different scene with new logic. Since you're not going to play the twin weapon gameplay anyway, so there's no reason to keep the other logic. But some of it, like the player health and stuff, and all the modifier logic and stuff, is it even on the gameplay? All the curls or data is on the gameplay as well, I think. Yeah, and the modifiers. I guess it would just replace the function that handles the main game loop with something new. Instead of making a new scene. New gameplay loop function, question mark. And then the timer would be the music. Like we do when we transition in this. Current length. Yeah, I'll start timer. Then timer connect. So it would be create timer current length. Timer connect. Point funny without the minus 200. Or minus 120. So this would be just the current length of the music. And then we bind it to the end of the game. And escape animation. So we should have some on-screen countdown so the player knows that he's about to escape, or some kind of indicator. Flash escape animation. Maybe just 30 seconds. I guess 1 minute would be. Or we do multiples, whatever. At least we have it written down that we want to do that. Okay, so this happens on what previously was the stagger. And it happens when the phase count is 3 instead of when the current phase is the final phase. So the spawn timeout would have to change to not trigger the final phase at all. What does the initiate file do? Wait, that's the one we overrode. Wait. So we would have to call initiate. That's why I don't like the weird double segmentation that we have going here. Because now we have to do it like this, and it's just gonna call this anyway. Yeah, we should just do this. Current phase idle. It what? Cannot find. Oh, it's caps. And then current phase active. And then current phase idle. And then we remove this completely. Then we get a bunch of errors, and then we do initiate final instead. Oh. Final. I guess. Wait, is it just this? Wait, does it connect call a callable or an actual function? I don't remember. That's the callable. Alright. And then this would be active. Where else? And this would be idle. Leave it on the new line. And then put this on a new line like this. Does it need a backslash? Yes. And then that's it, right? Initiate. Attack, active phase, final phase, other phase, active phase. So there you go. Initiate phase. That is the only one left over. But this would be final. That's waking up, I think. And then on weak spot it, yeah. If phase count 3, we initiate the fun that just goes into new gameplay. And then the rest should work the same. And the old logic shouldn't change. And because it's always... Wait, no, we do have to change the spawn logic as well. Because that one initiates the final phase as well. So we would have to override that too. Spawn timer start. I guess the spawn timer doesn't start anymore in the last one. So it does make sense. Yeah, let's override that. And then do on spawn timeout. +1. Okay, next looping initiate active. And then if it's smaller 3, we start the spawn timer again. Otherwise, nothing, because otherwise we go into the active phase anyway. And while we are in the active phase, we have a timer that it goes back to idle. So if you don't hit this weak spot in the final one, he goes back to idle. What is the active duration? I guess it has to change too, because the active duration in the last phase would be larger. Because he would stay active until the music stops. And then run away. Or we just don't go into idle at all, and the game just ends. So we override the active phase as well. And don't make a timer at all to go back. It just keeps going infinitely while he's in the active phase. But only if it's the last one. If phase count equals 3. Smaller 3. We return to idle after the timer. Otherwise, nothing. Should probably refactor this too, that we put this in like a function so we don't have to override everything. And then just say get idle timer or something like that, or like start idle timer or start active timer, and then override that. Yeah, so it goes back into idle unless it's in phase 3. And then here, if the weak spot is hit in phase 3, we initiate the final phase, and otherwise you don't ever reach the final phase. And if we are in the last one, I guess it should be before. No. That's fine this way. And then I guess on weak spot it should be after the initiate active. And then fine, yeah, this should work already. It's kind of annoying to test. We would have to set up a bunch of things to test this normal. But I think it's a good starting point for tomorrow. So it's a good prep. Let's commit that. Yeah, the stagger completely falls away. It's kind of weird. I feel like we should have the stagger logic inside the exported. But not really, it's fine this one. Let's double check. Initiate active phase. It's the same, it's just a little bit change with the final phase trigger. Then we remove this switch case, match statement. Current phase is now handed inside the function, which we forgot to add here. Oops. Initiate. Fine. The current phase equals phase final. Okay. And then here, on spawn timeout, smaller 3, start the current length as in spawn timer, initiate active phase. Smaller 3, go back to idle. And then if the weak spot is hit, in 3, we initiate final, and when we are in the final phase, we get the timer to end the game. Which is wrong, because the timer needs to start when the phase restarts, not when we hit the weak spot. So it will be here. Oops. Else. Because this timer keeps counting during the entire fun phase, even if we hit the weak spot. But if we don't hit the weak spot, this will end the game too. If it was on the final phase, it would not end the game when people are stalling. So the game would just go on forever. I guess to keep it consistent, we would equal 3 else. Although it does make more sense to have smaller 3 and then else, because if it ever accidentally goes over 3, it would still trigger this. But should that ever happen, it shouldn't. Let's get consistent with the old logic. Okay, equal 3. Stop the end times, end timers, and otherwise go back into idle after the active duration. And then you now came into the final phase on weak spot. That should be fine. So, okay, so initiate active. If it's 3, the game ends at the end of the song. Else, we go back to idle after the active duration. And then, when the weak spot is hit, do everything the same, except when you are already in the fun phase. Or if you are in phase 3, then you go into the fun phase. And then in the fun phase, we have a bunch of to-dos. And then show the health bar. Right, that is a good starting point for next time. Then we already know what to do. So, commit that. Refactor and prepare new final place. Case transitions. Alright. Okay, so chat. That is gonna be it for the gaming section, for the dev section. We will be back after my dinner break, and I probably... Should I take on the stream this time? Probably. It's still 45 minutes. Do I want to? I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it weird? Is it weird to leave the stream running for 45 minutes on the Be Right Back screen? It's a little bit weird, isn't it? It is a little bit weird. But I'm still gonna do it, I think. People do just sleeping streams, so I don't see a problem. Yeah, true. Pretty normal for long breaks, yeah. But I have to close the YouTube stream anyway, so it always feels weird that I leave the Kick and Twitch stream running while the YouTube is down. But there's not really a choice. I would probably leave it on for the... Yeah, whatever. Might be worth figuring out an on-screen thingy for long breaks, like fishing or something. Oh, you mean like a mini-game? Like Riku? Riku has some fishing, yeah. Could do something like that. Alright, anyway. See you soon, chat. We will be back at 8 PM. So in 43 minutes. We will be playing Steam Next Test demos, and I already installed a bunch of really cool demos, so that's gonna be exciting. So if there are any YouTube people, also this time I need to, before I take down the YouTube stream, I need to write it in chat, because last time I ended the YouTube chat and I didn't put a notice on the chat that we will be back. And once I take down the YouTube, I can't actually chat anymore, so I don't know what actually happens when you watch. When the YouTube goes on, if they still see the comment. Whatever. Back at 8 PM for Steam Next Fest the demos. Check new URL. Check. Check new link. New YouTube URL. Live stream. Whatever. And then bye YouTube, bye. Let's put it on. Be right back. Bye YouTube, and see you soon. Twitch and Kick and YouTube on a new link. I'm still not used to this type of stream thing. Whatever. See you soon, chat. Thanks for watching so far.